I went through a phase where I didn't use a still air box for quite a while. I started with a still air box, but I became a little bit, or maybe a lot, complacent with my sterile environments and maybe a little bit loose with my sterilization. And I believe the reason I allowed that to happen, the first few grows I had, I used a still air box that I made myself with just a big plastic Sterilite container. I cut holes in it, and I had the still air box set up in my closet, and that's where I would inoculate things. And whenever I first started, I didn't have modified jar lids. I would do almost like a grain to grain transfer where you open the jar and inoculate it and then close it again. And you would not want to do that in the open air. You, it, I think that it would almost be guaranteed that your grain spawn would be contaminated. My first few grows, I used the still air box to inoculate things. I was very cautious whenever I would transfer to bulk, and I had a lot of success. I had a lot of big harvests, and it was really awesome. And it led me to believe that this is way easier than I thought it was going to be. And people online were just blowing it out of proportion. They're making this stuff look harder than it actually is. So I became complacent, and it led to me having a lot of disastrous grows where I wouldn't have any fruits at all. And that's really demoralizing. It was just bad for a really good block of time. I would say at least 4 months since I've had a harvest. Maybe even longer. I'm thinking around Halloween because I grew some pumpkin mushrooms. They really did look like pumpkins whenever they fruited. So it's been a while. So hopefully I can help you guys not make the same mistakes I did. So should you get a still air box? I would say that whether you're just getting started or you've been doing it for a while, I mean mycology and growing mushrooms for a while, I would recommend getting a still air box. You can make your own still air box at home. Like I said, I made my first still air box out of a Sterilite plastic container that I got from Walmart. Darcy doesn't like it whenever I talk into the camera. Get a still air box, make a still air box, do whatever it is you gotta do. But this really does help with reducing contamination. And you don't only use it for inoculation. Right now, I have a sterilized bag of CVG and a fully colonized jar of grain spawn that I'm going to transfer the grain spawn over to bulk here in the still air container. And the reason I'm doing this is because the reasons I stated earlier about just trying to reduce the risk of contamination, because I really haven't had a harvest in a while, and I feel like I need to get my morale back. So I sterilized a bag of CVG. I wouldn't usually do that. Usually I only sterilize my wood-based substrates, but I don't want to take any chances. My main goal with this video is to help people learn from my mistakes. I know that there's a lot of people like me that aren't going to learn until they do it for themselves and they have, I don't know, 6, 7 monotubs that they have to throw out because every single one of them is contaminated. The people that are a little bit more clever and actually listen to people when they tell them about their own experience, this is for them. Get a still air box and always make sure to practice sterile practices. And this is Darcy. This is Darcy girl. She's a corgi. She's a beautiful little corgi girl. But that's not why we are out here. We are out here to establish that still air boxes do indeed exist. And so does Darcy. To those people, please learn from my mistakes. Just use a still air box and use the so to them, use a still air box and always practice the best sanitation you can.